Is there such a thing as Scaredy Cats Anonymous? Because my name is L.A. Goodman and I have a confession. I scare easy. Every month I host a book club here at my house, and October's book was How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I have read books by Grady Hendrix before. I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires and I loved it, and so I was all about reading another Grady Hendrix book. And let me tell you, some of this was scary. The horror genre is not usually my jam. I don't watch movies that are scary. I don't watch a lot of TV that is scary. I don't read a lot of things that are scary. My imagination is way too good to... I will keep thinking about that stuff for days. So supernatural is probably as scary as I get. Put a salt circle around it, right? That's what I'm going to do. Well, this book actually had some really scary parts in it. And what gets me with horror is the stuff that you can't see, right? So there's a point in the book where the girl's trying to sell the house and the realtor is there and she's showing the house. And all of a sudden, in an empty house, footsteps are sounding on the attic ceiling from the attic. And this girl stays in that house. I would GTFO like immediately, like, nope, I'm out. And she stays in the house and continues trying to sell the house. She says it's like rats or something. I'm like, no, that's terrifying to me. So yeah, I had some moments in this book where I was like, I cannot stand stuff you can't see. So think Doctor Who and the Weeping Angels, right? You look at them and they don't move. But the minute you look away and look back, oh, they're in a different position. That kind of thing happened in this book, but with dolls and puppets. Okay? Why in horror stuff are dolls, puppets, marionettes, inanimate objects so creepy? They're just creepy. Okay? They're creepy. Why? And why do people collect them? I don't. Look, I get Barbies and stuff like that. I get that. But yeah, no, this book had some weird moments. And until like 2/3 through the way, you didn't see any of them. You didn't actually see any of them move. And that got to me. Okay. Once you could see them animated and the main characters were seeing them move, I was like, okay, this is what's happening. They're haunted and they can see it. They know what's coming at them and blah, blah, blah. And that's cool. But until then, I was having a really hard time getting through the book. Yeah, because I am just that much of a wimp when it comes to stuff like that. There were some really disturbing parts of this book, but that's a Grady Hendrix thing. A lot of his books have some disturbing imagery in it, right? There was one part where an arm got sliced off. There was another part where they brought the kid into it. That's another thing in the horror genre that is really creepy, that should not be creepy. It's children, kids. Bringing kids into the haunting, I'm out. I'm walking the other direction, okay? Because I don't need any of that. But okay. Let me talk about some good things in this book. I really liked how he kind of intertwined the religious aspects and the supernatural aspects and made them intertwine in a way that was almost seamless, right? Because it's the Deep South. A lot of people are superstitious and whatnot. And he just combined these God-fearing people with, but we're going to go do an exorcism on this house and and a ghost extraction and whatever. It was so casual. And I was like, okay. So we're fully just embracing all spectrums of the crazy, right? And I loved the relationship between Louise and Mark. At first, I was like, wow, her brother is a real piece of work, right? Well, as it grew on, like through the story, they had such a sibling relationship. And if you've ever had siblings, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get along, you don't, you know, there's a large spectrum of emotions with siblings. And one of my favorite scenes in the book was they were at a Waffle House, and they had this go surreal moment, right? And they're in the parking lot of the Waffle House, and they've had this kumbaya moment, and they decide to hug instead of fight, because they've been fighting and fighting and fighting all up until this moment. So they go in for this really awkward hug with each other. And then their thought process is, no, I'm comforting you. No, I'm comforting you. I'm comforting you more. I'm comforting you more. And I was like, that is such a sibling interaction. Like, if you know, you know, right? So I really did enjoy how their relationship kind of laid out and grew, and you understood why there was so much tension in the beginning and whatnot. I thought that was great. The characters were great, and his depiction of the South was fantastic. I just really enjoyed this book. So I recommend it. Grady Hendrix. He's fun to read. He is fun to read, even though I had some nightmares because of aforementioned reasons. Still a good book. Overall, it was a really entertaining read. Do I want to read it again? No. It had some really spooky parts in it. It was great for the spooky season of October, right? But no, I don't want to read it again. I recommend it if you like that kind of thing, because I know some people do, and that's just fine. You like what you like, right? So, yeah, do recommend if that's your jam. It was a good read. It was entertaining.